Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Marketing Podcast, your source for all things marketing. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Daniel de Castellane on the line. He's founder and CEO over at the Castellane Creative. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Hi, Adam. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we're going to talk a little bit more about it being time for businesses to start thinking about the next generation. But before we get into that, I do want to get a little bit further into what you're doing over at the Castellane Creative. So tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Of course, we're a next-generation boutique consultancy agency, meaning that companies come to us asking how can they be more appealing to the next generation, to the younger generation, and we give them solutions for their business, basically marketing campaigns, and we have a whole team that can execute those campaigns, such as content creators, videographers, photographers, web developers, and so on.
Love it. And I think that's also a great transition into today's topic. So what does it mean for businesses to start thinking about the next generation?
For sure. I think there is a stigma between the two generations that we have right now in the workforce, the millennials and the baby boomers, and, very soon, the Gen Z. So there's not a lot of conversation, and I think it's so important for us to actually bridge that gap and start conversations between the two generations. Obviously, both of them bring a lot to the table. Baby boomers, they obviously have a lot of experience. They have a point of view that a lot of millennials don't have. And millennials are a generation that I think there's a lot of stigma associated with them, unfortunately. But we are educated, we're hardworking, and we're full of new and bright ideas. And if we can actually bridge that gap and start conversations between the two generations, I think that's a recipe for success.
Where do you think, and obviously this isn't oversimplifying the problem, right, or the opportunity, I should say, but where do you think a lot of businesses, and I know this is going to vary from business or brand to brand, but where do you find a lot of people really miss the mark on trying to have that dialogue between generations?
I think just targeting the wrong audience, or sometimes just overlooking some audiences. A lot of the times millennials, the younger generation, is not even considered as an audience. They're sticking to their old marketing campaigns or to their old outreach campaigns. They don't see the younger generation. Every day things are changing. Let's say a few years ago, you might have never thought of social media as a selling tool, but right now, actually, social media, specifically Instagram and soon TikTok, are becoming the largest platforms for businesses. So they're actually becoming e-commerce platforms. So we have to change with the times, and we have to see what kind of message basically, talks to our audience. Before it was all about having this image of being perfect. Everything is perfect. The brand is perfect. But now with the new generation, it's all about authenticity. That's why influencer marketing is so popular these days, because someone who's authentic and someone that you trust and you know their flaws is selling you something, is basically telling you that they trust the product, and that's why the consumers go and buy the product. That's why influencer marketing is so successful these days, because it's all about authenticity and less about the image of being perfect.
Man, I love that, and I love the way you put that because, and one just obvious example to me is, and I think that some of these companies are really starting to come around, but you look at some of the financial companies that maybe in the past had neglected and or ignored the millennial population just because, they didn't have the money, right? Their parents had the money. The millennials were still in college or otherwise, and then you see other smaller companies that weren't neglecting them, things like your Robinhood or all these other Acorns or all these other apps just come up out of nowhere and be explosive, and then causing like other big financial companies think, wait a minute, we're missing the mark on this. Other people are hitting the mark. We need to start thinking.
Absolutely. I think the Gen Z, again, we are the next generation, the millennials, the Gen Zs, and that's true. There's a lot of differences between the two generations, but just to completely ignore one generation, your business is going to die. So you have to change with the times. And I think it's so important to adapt in the world of business, especially right now with COVID. We've seen how every businesses have changed. And if your business is unable to adapt and doesn't have that adaptability concept to it, your business will die.
So Daniel, what are so a lot of people listening right now? What are the types of companies and or clients that you typically like to work with over at Castellane Creative?
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. At the Castellane Creative, we really have solutions for every company, but the companies that we're really passionate of working with are companies that have a mission and they want to change the world and make a difference in their societies and in their communities. We're very cause-focused and cause-oriented. We have some set of values such as we want to do good, we want to make a difference, and we really like our clients to share the same passions with us. In addition to that, we're very fashion forward, so we work with a lot of fashion companies. My background is in clinical psychology and medicine, but also my family has been in fashion for years. So we're, focused on fashion, anything medical, and all this fun stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Daniel, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Castellane Creative or to connect, what's the best way for them to reach out and to get more information?
Well, they can obviously always call us. Our phone number is 949-409-4700, or they can visit our website at www.decastellane.creative, which is DECASTELLANE creative, CREATIVE.com.
Fantastic. Well, Daniel, been great having you on the show today. Love getting into this topic with you, and I think you definitely provided some good information on why businesses do need to start thinking more about the next generation, as you mentioned, definitely the future and here now. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Marketing, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments in the video. Love to know what kind of things and projects that you're working on. So let's keep the conversation going in the YouTube community. And Daniel, thanks again for coming on the show.